You're listening to Bedroom Beethovens, where notable music makers break down stories accompanied by songs and melodies documenting growth through their 10,000-hour journey. And me? Well, my name is Cello, your host.
Life isn't a fairy tale. It's not a bunch of jumping rope and grabbing ass. It's complicated. What do you want to do with your life?
Honestly, I just want to start a podcast. I want to interview all my favorite music producers. But I don't want to talk about music production. I want to interview Prince Paul and RJD2 and Slum Village.
Sounds like a fun crew.
And I want to talk about just life. I want to be a historical figure for the culture, a radio host, a guy with a platform, to make meaningful connections and help promote projects that might go under the radar otherwise. Maybe podcasting will be my full-time job. Maybe I'll hit 100 episodes someday, and Spotify will take notice and want me to join their podcast lineup. Maybe Dr. Dre will send me an email out of the blue telling me he enjoys the show. I want to change the world. I want people to tune in and listen. I want to be a music ambassador to showcase how the art and music industry can support the youth, aspiring producers, and creatives. I just want to be successful.
You're never going to be any of those, okay? You got to set the bar a lot lower. Service industry, fry cook, prison guard, maybe you're a lighting guy at a porn shoot, which basically means you hold up a flashlight while adults do things.
I'm the J57.
Yo, this is J57 from 5-7 Collective, Brown Bag All-Stars, and JMO Gang. Happy 100 episodes, Bedroom Beethovens. Cello, congrats on this huge milestone. You're one of the best interviewers out there, period. Here's to 100 more.
Yo, listening to Axelrod, looking like a dapper dawn. I'm a phenomenon, something like the song. Geniuses compliment me how my mind works. I nod first, cats today want the perks, then get in line first. Thrice in this past year, flown out in a jet lir, kettle and some Beck's beer. Yo, Father, forgive me for killing anything with a pulse that I touch. Cause my team's all mean, snap the ball, then we rush like we some lab rats. Take it back like fat cap, skinnies in my backpack. Pack.
We made it, y'all. This is Cello, episode 100 of the podcast, and my guest this week is...
Just listen to the melody, 'cause my love...
My name is Apollo Brown. I represent Detroit, man, and I'm a producer. I've produced for the likes of OC, Ghostface, Razkaz, Planet Asia, rapper Big Pooh. I mean, a little bit of everybody, man. Guilty Simpson. It kind of, you know, there's a lot going on, man. And I produce for cats that I'm a fan of, man. So, you know, that's pretty much where it lies. Everybody that I've produced for, everybody I've made beats for, they're all artists that I'm fans of.
Even through rain, hell, and snowing, regardless to the stress, you still push to keep the love flowing. I done had a share of love that then came and went, lacking the patience it takes to build an establishment. You're like a diamond in the rough to a cave of wonders. You got the treasure that can split a man's heart asunder. When the world starts to rain and thunder, you're the bridge of support that I go and seek shelter under. From cold winters to the hot summers, you're the love that I cherish indeed. It ain't no need to wonder.
Listen, you honestly didn't think you can have a music producer podcast and not invite one of the Detroit goats on. And lucky me, I'm able to sit down with the man for an all-encompassing talk on family process, the future, and more. And to make matters even more special, he joins me on the 100th episode. Happy holidays, everyone. I do want you guys to know that next week, I'm taking a week off. I'm taking a break. I've done 100 weeks in a row. I'm taking some PTO, so just a heads up. But if you haven't already, head on over to bedroombeethovens.com because that's where the archives are. Listen in on any episodes you may have missed. Buy a shirt. Subscribe to the social medias. And hey, why not hit up patreon.com/bedroombeethovens where you can donate a few bucks to show your love and keep the show ad-free, and I can keep doing what I do. Keep a creative motivated during these strange times. As we put a bow on 2020, I don't know where your affiliations lie, but I'm excited to get a vaccine. I'm excited to see Joe Biden take office. I'm excited for positive change, and 2020 can kiss my ass. Wherever you are in the world, be safe and Happy New Year. Up next is my conversation with the great and powerful Apollo Brown. Thank you for rocking with me for 100 episodes.
That's my word. Regardless to our problems in the world, just know that you gon' always be my real love. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a personal milestone for me. I mean, I've been following you since the left, since Dice Game. You know?
Okay, yeah. Like the left that was my baby, man. That was that's not what started it, but that was one of the joints that kind of solidified, I guess, the Apollo Brown sound, which is not really reinventing the wheel or anything, man. It's just a sound that I like to carry on.
Well, before we dive too much into music, how are you and the family during this whole pandemic?
We're cool, man. Just taking it one day at a time, trying to stay safe, man, stay masked up, and trying to stay within our little family bubble, and just following all the precautions, man, and trying to get this over with as fast as possible, and I mean that's pretty much the only way to do it. None of us want to get sick. None of us want to bring home anything to our children or other family members or anything like that, man. So we're just trying to stay safe, man, as well as possible, man, as much as we know how. So, necessities, obviously, we got to go out to get that stuff, and it's one of those things, man. You kind of gotta, I don't know, man. You play it safe. It's better be safe than sorry. So we're doing well though, man. Luckily, me and my wife both get to work from home, and so we still have a steady income, and my children are both, going to school virtually, man. So we're also teachers in this household, man, and trying to facilitate that, and make sure that's going well. I have a sixth grader and a kindergartner, man. So the sixth grader, he pretty much has his down, and when to get on, and shuffling through classes and stuff like that all day, and it's really just about helping facilitate schooling for my kindergartner, and making sure that she's on at the right time, and with the right teacher, and doing her asynchronous work when she's not online, making sure she's getting everything done, and learning along the way, man. It's not ideal, so we got to help out as much as possible.
Well, what about the small pleasures in life? Are you and your son still out there skateboarding, or was that a short-lived
No,
midlife hot date?
we're still out there, man. It's funny, man. He's getting better. I'm staying. I'm pretty much maintaining. So he's out there a lot more than I am, and we're going to the skate parks and the indoor skate parks and stuff like that. I'm in Michigan, man, so obviously it's getting a little cold outside to be skateboarding, man. But we'll go to the indoor skate parks, man, and he'll run around. And I'm still old and fat, man, and so doing certain things on the skateboard just isn't coming. I can do an ollie, and I can shove it and stuff like that, man. But I can't. That's just about it now. I can't. He's getting off the ground. He's ollieing about, I'd say about 5 inches now. I'm still, I'm ollieing. I'm getting off the ground, but I'm also 260 pounds, man. So, you know, getting that off the ground is not like it
Yeah.
used to be, man. So, but we're still out there, and just messing around, man. Skateboarding has always been, something that I've always loved, and more as a spectator, man, and it's always been a dream of mine to be like a skater, man. But what can I say, man? It's kind of late in the game.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, you are a bedroom Beethoven. You used to cook up heat in the box, but now you have a family, and I'm sure you've upgraded from the box. So,
Absolutely.
what do you call your space nowadays?
I mean, really, it's just a lab, man. It was the orange room at one time, and I had I don't know, man. It's just the lab. Like I had a studio. that I just closed down that was outside of the home. And I just found myself never going to that studio, man. And let's say 365 days out of the year, I probably went there 40 times, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have the same setup in my basement. So I built this room in my basement from scratch. So, and then this studio down here, I have the same exact setup. So it was like drive 20 minutes to my studio or walk downstairs. And I always chose to walk downstairs. And I just got a lot more work done here. I was more productive here. I would go to the studio and kind of twiddle my thumbs, and it got kind of lonely, man. And it was just awkward, man. So I just kind of let that go and, continued to do what I do here, man. But I've definitely upgraded, man, as far as, equipment and everything I used to have back in the day, man. It all worked. It wasn't broke, so I didn't have to fix it, but I just felt I needed to kind of keep up with the times a little bit.
Well, speaking of being lonely, you used to have this attitude where the finished product is beautiful, but the process of crafting a beat is horrible, and it's nothing that you wanted to put on film, and you didn't think people would watch. But I mean,
it still is.
I go to Stolen Drums Instagram page, and there's thousands of people watching him loop the same drums over and over again. You don't think that times have changed with social media? You don't think people want to watch that?
I mean, dude, man, it's really boring to watch me make a beat, man. I'm playing the same part over and over and over and over. And even today, now in today's just the way that my life is today, man, it takes me, it could take me 2 days to make a beat, man. It usually does. It's a lot of starting and stopping and starting and stopping, and I'll start some drums and then I get pulled away. I gotta go. I mean, literally, I'm a stay-at-home dad, man. So I gotta go do the dishes real quick. I'll come back down here and program something else, man, and then I gotta leave and go pick my son up from somewhere. Or, it's I'm always being called away from my desk, man. So, it takes me a good 2 days to make one beat, man, and kind of would anyway. I'm more about quality over quantity anyway. So if I can get 4 good beats done, a week, I'm cool with that. That's a good week for me. That's 16 beats a month, man. That's an album's worth of beats a month. I don't need to make more than that. That's fine. That's perfect. So it takes me a minute, man, to make a beat, man. And
Well, I mean, growing up in a biracial household, let me add, I'm biracial as well. I came from a military family.
oh, okay, no doubt, man. No doubt, no doubt.
The privilege you get from that, my father's black, my mother's European, and in my household, so I got to experience jazz from my dad, and from my mom, dance, pop music. I was wondering, is the same for you? Did that racial dynamic in your house create musical exposure that maybe you might not have had otherwise?
One day I could be listening to the Seals and Crofts version of Summer Breeze, and then the next day I could be listening to the Isley Brothers version of Summer Breeze.
See the curtains hanging in the window in the evening on a Friday night.
It was definitely a privilege to live in my household as far as music was concerned. Both had, my mom is a fan of the Carpenters and the Mamas and the Papas and stuff like that, and my dad's a big Marvin Gaye head, and he grew up in Detroit, so he's all about Motown. There was a little mix of everything, and then I grew up in Grand Rapids, so that was, we didn't have like, I guess you can say black radio stations or radio stations that would play urban music, man. We had, radio stations that would play top 40, but we also had a lot of stations that played, your 80s hits and 70s hits and stuff like that, man. 80s alternative, man, like, Duran Duran and Journey and stuff like that, man. So I got to really be exposed to a lot of that type of music as well, man. And Eurythmics and just, I mean, all kinds of good stuff, man, that I still listen to this day.
And in Grand Rapids, you and the Bronze Man, you both grew up in Grand Rapids, right?
Yeah, me and Bronze grew up together, definitely. Yeah, we went to school together. We lived in the same neighborhood. We were pretty much inseparable, man. Everywhere you saw Bronze, you saw me, and everywhere you saw me, you saw Bronze. That was how it was, man.
And he was telling me before all this music stuff, he was a social worker, and then he told
me, man. Yeah, he was.
Not a lot of people know about that. And then he told me you were a property inspector. Is that true?
Yeah, I was a city inspector, man. Oh, wow. Yeah, he was a social worker, man. I was a city inspector, man. That's how it was. We had regular everyday jobs, and we would come home from our jobs and make music, man. That's just how it was. Like, especially when you have a passion, man, and it was something that you really love to do, man. I'll work, 8 to 10 hours a day, and then come home and work another 6 hours on music, and then go to sleep and do the same thing over again. Same with him, man.
But you had to travel. You had to go to Cleveland for some of that work.
I did, man. Yeah, I had to go to Cleveland for 3 years, man. I had to go down to Cleveland for 3 years and work, and then came back.
Were you happy during that time, or something was missing?
No, not at all, bro. Not at all, man. I was not happy at all during that time, man. I'm all about Cleveland fans and stuff like that, man. But living in Cleveland just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I was in Detroit every weekend. I would literally come back to Detroit every weekend, man, because there were shows going on, there was things to do. I would always leave Cleveland on a Friday evening after work, man, and come back on a Sunday, and then go back to work for the rest of the week.
Because I might be a believer in maybe call me cuckoo. Maybe the universe is picking up on that, and it's well documented that you were laid off a week after you signed to Mello. Was that your own doing?
No, it's crazy, man. It was the same week. It was the first week in January 2010, man. I got laid off, and obviously, just like anybody, you're wondering what are you going to do next. You start sharpening up the resume, man. You're trying to figure things out. Luckily, I have a college degree. I was going to try to fall back on that a little bit, and then I get a phone call from Michael Toll from Mello Music Group, man, and I still don't know how he got my number or who he got my number from, but I mean, all in all, basically, he just said, I want you to be a part of the team, man. We're establishing a label, and I want you to be a part of the team, and I told him, I said, well, if my bank account doesn't reflect what I want it to, in a year, and if my name and it doesn't reflect what I want it to be in a year, then I'm going to go back to work, man. I'll give you a year. And I haven't went back to a regular 9 to 5 since, man. We've been partners for over a decade now.
And we all have 1971 Chevelle envy, so the rest is history.
Oh, man. I mean, yeah. I having one in the garage, I still have 1971 Chevelle envy, man. It's a dream. It's my dream car. So, I've had it for a while now, and I've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and money into that thing, man, and to get it to where it is now. People know me. They know it's family, music, and cars, man. Those are my three loves.
So there's a sense of loyalty, though, because for whatever reason, beat makers who have been a part of that label, Mello Music Group, whether it's Odyssey, Eloquent, Nolan. In fact, I just talked to Nolan. He said he turned in a record and Mello rejected it, so he went out on his own. And a lot of people leave the nest. But I look at like an SNL cast member. You're Kenan Thompson. You're sticking around for the long haul.
Yeah, bro. I mean, this it's not a label for me, man. It's family. Mike's one of my best friends, man. So, and that just happens when you have somebody that you talk to every day for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like it just, you develop a friendship, you develop a relationship that kind of goes beyond music. And I've been treated very, very well, man. There's no reason for me to ever leave. There's no reason for me to kind of say, all right, let me go test the water somewhere else, man. That doesn't make sense right now. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I get treated well. I have total creative control. I get to do pretty much whatever I want to, work with whoever I want to. And I've never had a complaint, man. That's my guy. Mello's my label. And we're pretty much synonymous, man. When you see the name Apollo Brown, you know that Mello is behind it. And when you see the name Mello, you know that Apollo Brown's right there, man. So it's a great marriage.
And this month marks 11 years ago. The first big tune in 2004 was a local affair, but now it's nationwide. Is a chance for fame, and you entered this month 11 years ago.
Oh yeah. The Red Bull.
Yeah, to give people an idea, Frank Dukes entered multiple times and kept coming in second place.
That was my claim to fame, man. I get to say that I beat Frank Dukes, man. And Frank Dukes, everybody knows now that Frank Dukes is probably the greatest quiet producer in the world. Frank Dukes has a hand in probably 8 out of the top 10 hits on the radio that you hear on the radio today. So Frank is a beast, man. He's an amazing beat maker. He's an amazing composer these days. I mean, he can go from making one of the grimiest beats you've ever heard in your life to making one of the most commercial, cleanest beats you've ever heard. He lends his hand, man, and his talent to most of the music that you hear on the radio today now. So, you know, he's definitely grown to be, you know, I'd say, like I said, one of the, if not the greatest producer in the world. And he's quiet, real quiet too. It's quiet, man. A lot of people don't know because he's so behind the scenes, man.
Well, let's talk about another second place person, DJ Final. What happened to him since that fateful evening that you beat him?
Oh, Final, man. He's such a good dude, man. Such a great dude. I haven't talked to him in years, man, but I think if I were to talk to him, man, we'd pick up right where we left off, man. He was a good dude. Me and him, we used to keep in contact back in the day, man. And he's out of Vegas, man. And I'm pretty sure he's still making music. I'm pretty sure he's still doing his thing, man. And you know, he was an amazing producer as well. And but he was just a good dude, man. Just an overall good guy, man. So I should definitely hit him up one of these days, man, and see how he's doing and see what he's doing. You know, kind of catch up.
And 14 KT won the following year, just to give people an idea.
He's one of my favorite producers of all time. So, you know, giving flowers to KT, man. KT is sitting and watching him create or just listening to the final product that he's created, man, and listening to the chops. As a producer, listening to what he makes is just like, you listen to the chops and you listen to how he programs the drums, and the dude is an alien.
Big Sean just dropped Detroit too. All right. Guest appearances: Nipsey Hussle, California; Ty Dolla $ign, California; Hit Boy, California; Young Thug, Atlanta; Travis Scott, Houston. Production side: Mike Will Made It, Georgia; DJ Mustard, California; No ID, Chicago; Boy Wonder, Canada; Diddy, New York. So at this point, I'm beating a dead horse. But for an album called Detroit 2,
yeah, I get what you're going at. Yeah, I get.
There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of Detroit on there. So how do you feel about that?
I mean, you know, he tapped into where he wanted to tap in, man. I can't really say much about it, man. It's, I dropped Sincerely Detroit with all Detroit artists, but you know, he did what he wanted to do, man. He's an amazing artist, man, and I don't know. There's no expectations when it comes to artists, man. They do what they want to, and they don't owe anybody anything, man. You know what I'm saying? Like if he wanted to do it that way, and I mean, he's from Detroit, so you know, as long as he talked that talk, what he was, you know, whatever he was spitting and representing, you know, for himself, you know, it's cool that he tapped other cities and states for beats and features, and you know, I can't complain about it.
So with your album, you had 56 guest appearances. How much involvement did you have in curating that?
100%.
Because I asked Bronze when he was on here, I said, how on earth did he get that many people on there? Because rappers can be flakes or tardy. Sometimes it could be a nightmare. And he said, no, you don't understand. When Apollo calls, you answer. He's at that level.
I'm cool with everybody in the city. You know, I don't have a specific tie, man. I don't belong to this crew over here, or this era or that era, man. It's like I respect everybody as an MC. I respect everybody as a producer, as a DJ. And they know that I know, and I represent the fact that Detroit has the best MCs in the world, the best producers in the world, and the best DJs in the world, and the best singers in the world. Like, to me, you know, there's no other city, no other state, no other country, or anywhere in the country, period, in the world that's better than Detroit, man. So we just have that talent, man. So yeah, it was a feat, you know, getting 56 artists on the same, you know, album, not only just artists, but artists from the same city. Yeah, it was definitely a feat. It took a minute, you know, it took about 6 months to do, man. And then getting people on certain songs with other artists. And, you know, I was trying to kind of put artists together with artists that don't necessarily work together. I was trying to put certain artists on different sounds that you wouldn't necessarily hear me put them on that sound. Case in point, like the Guilty Fat Ray record. I wouldn't normally give Guilty that type of beat, but it worked out beautifully.
Detroit.
It's one of those things that panned out, man. I did that with a bunch of other songs as well. But you know, it's a hard thing, man, but everybody came, and represented, and they knew what it was. It's bigger than me, it was bigger than them, man. It was for the city. It was like a love letter to the rest of the world, signed Sincerely Detroit. And they knew it was bigger than all of us as a solo act or as a individual, man. It was us as the city, representing, man, and we did it well. I've never seen such support from Detroit, and I've never seen such protection from Detroit. If anyone said anything bad about the album, they were on them like watchdogs, man. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like they protected that album. It was their jewel. They still do to this point, to this point, man, to this day. They protect that album, and I do too. It's one of those things where that album, man, just means a lot to me, man, and it means a lot to me that everybody got together from different eras, from different crews, from different sides of town, legends, up and comers. It was a little bit of everybody on there, man, and I applaud them for coming through, and not just coming through, but showing out when they came through. You know what I'm saying? And that album came out beautiful.
Well, let me ask you, have you enrolled in law school yet?
I haven't, man, but I'm still thinking about it. It's one of those things, man, where I got the LSAT books and stuff like that, man. I'm busy, and I got a lot of stuff on my plate right now, man, and I got a few things in the works that might change the game a little bit. But I definitely still think about it. I might hang this up and kind of go into that side of the music industry. We'll see.
Hanging it up, though, is it because of the fickle nature of the business, where there might be some insecurities there, or you don't want to be 55 years old still making boom bap beats?
No, I wouldn't mind being 55, man, making boom bap beats, man. You see Premier out there, man, doing his thing. I wouldn't mind that at all. I would love to make beats until my ears don't work, man, to be honest with you. But if I were to ever hang it up, it would be behind the scenes. It would be because of the behind the scenes, the business aspect of the industry, man. Not because of the music, not because of the fans, not because of anything I'm doing that's readily seen by on the outside looking in. It would be from some behind the scenes stuff. More so based on the way I make music.
Well, there's obviously an interest in law, so I know this is an older case, but did you follow the Blurred Lines lawsuit closely?
I didn't agree with it, man. I mean, there's a lot of things that come on, man, you can't put a stamp on a feeling. Like, to me, it was just a feeling. Like, oh, it sounded like, or it felt like, it felt like this other song, but it didn't sample that other song. It just felt like it. Really? Like, you're going to copyright a feeling? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's like, so if you sample a salsa beat right now, Ricky Martin's family isn't going to come after you because that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're dealing with a feeling, man. You can't copyright a feeling. Just because I had a party feeling and that same type of, I get what they're coming at. I get what the info that they're coming with and all that stuff, man. But it's not. He didn't sample it. It just he sampled the feeling. And because it's the same feeling, you're going to sue him for that? Like, that doesn't make any sense, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't agree with it. So,
well, you've also said, like, who cares how a beat is made? Who cares what drums I used, what samples I already used? If you're a consumer, enjoy the music. But if you go down that road in a legal field, you might have to start caring about that kind of stuff, and it might start taking the joy out of it.
It's true. But I can also, take the cases that I want to take. Having been on this side of it, I know certain things that other people don't and other lawyers don't. I've been on the wrong side of those cases. You know what I'm saying? And I've worked in that industry, in that realm of the industry, to know what these producers are doing and thinking. And I wholeheartedly agree with, I sample what I want to sample, and I don't care who sampled it. I said this the other day on something. It was like, people, you have fans who are really like they overanalyze the music, man, and that just kind of gets to me a little bit. It doesn't make any sense. I'll ask them, hey, is the beat dope? And they'll be like, yeah, the beat's dope. And I'm like, there you go. That's all that matters, man. Who cares if I used the snare before? Who cares if I sampled something that somebody else sampled 4 years ago or 15 years ago? Like, who cares, man? It's a totally different song. Who cares if I used this kick or this snare before? Why does that matter? It doesn't matter. When a rock and roll group tours the world, they don't change drum kits. They use the same drum kit for every song. Hip hop's the only genre of music that people expect us to use a different snare on every beat. So if I got 1,000 beats sitting right here, every snare on has to be different on each beat, or every kick, or every hi-hat. That doesn't make any man. I'm gonna use what works. I'm gonna use what feels good, man, with that specific sample or that specific feeling, that music. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just kind of what, that's how I feel about it. I'm gonna do what I want to. I produce and I make music based on feeling, man. And if I'm feeling it, that's, especially at that moment, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, damn right. And let's talk. And here's another potential lawsuit. There's this book called Back to the Lab by Raf Rashid that captures the home studios of music producers. Flying Lotus is in there. Rhythmatic, Just Blaze.
I have that beat sitting right here in front of me, or not beat, but I have both of those.
You
books.
had that idea first. He stole that idea.
I had that idea a long time ago. I did, but nobody stole it. I mean, I had I got Back to the Lab right here, and I have Behind the Beat right here as well. Behind the Beat came out first, but they're the same premise. They're the same type of book. But I definitely wanted to do that back in the day, and but no, I applaud him for doing that, man. That's dope, man. To kind of go into the labs of producers, man, and literally, like, it's almost like he snuck up on them, because a lot of these labs are dirty as shit, man. They're dirty and they're grimy and filthy, man. And it's just like, yo, how can you sit and make music in this shit, man? Like, how can you sit there and actually make a beat and your hand is in a bunch of ashes? Like, yo, what are you doing? Like, there's food on top of your MPC. Like, how do you, but I mean, it captures the producer in the moment, and, it kind of gives it just gives a real feel to everything, man. And I applaud it, man. I think it's dope. And, it lets people know that producers, artists, whatever, are people too. And they just sit in filth just like everybody else.
I love that, like, Just Blaze made Rock Boys with Cheeto dust all over his fingers and a coffee stain.
Yeah, bro. Like, the shit is it's crazy, man. It's, we're just regular ass people, man, who get done eating a cinnamon roll, man, and hit pads or produce however we want to produce, man. And sometimes sit in the lab and don't take a shower for 3 days or some shit, man, and just because you got the perfect beat going and you don't want to leave it.
Well, so when you want to work with someone, this might seem like kind of a low-hanging fruit question, but it's an important process, because we all know you don't make songs, you make albums. So
absolutely, bro.
Working with one MC, as you put it, it's almost like interviewing a babysitter. So what are you looking for? Because when I interview a babysitter, I'm looking at a clean record, shows up on time, is personable, warm. When looking for an MC, what if they're hungry and talented but not personable? Stuff like that. What factors do you value? What do you look for?
Well, obviously I look for talent, man. I look for delivery. I look for content. I look for somebody who's just an overall good person, man. Like, that's important. A lot of you'll hear a lot of MCs or a lot of artists or producers, man, just talk about the music. For me, it's not just about the music. That's why I say my beats are like my kids, and I'm not gonna leave my kids with just anybody. I'm gonna interview them first before I leave my kids with somebody. Like, I got to get to know who that babysitter is, man, and what type of person they are. If they got a record, if they got how are they gonna treat my kids, man? I want to see some. What you did before, man, and what your track record is looking like with other people's kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I need some references. I don't need to babysit you on the mic. I don't need you to hit me up and be like, yo, check out what I wrote. I don't want that. I don't want to hear what you wrote over the phone. I want to hear that shit in the booth when we get in the studio and, you come out the booth and I'm like, yo, that was crazy. Like, it's I work with MCs that I know can get the job done. I work with artists that I know what they're capable of, man. I know their track record, and I know that they're good people, man. You know, case in point, people like Sky Zoo, Joel Ortiz, those are great people, man. You know what I'm saying? They're great overall human beings, not just artists, not just, people that get on the mic and spit hot shit. Like, nah, they're good people. They're good family men. You know what I'm saying? They represent their homes very well. They know right from wrong, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just good people, man, and they get the job done. They're professional, good people to tour with. That's a part of it too, man, is knowing who can come on the road and who's going to be good to tour with. And yeah, I mean, just people like that, man. Guilty Simpson, great human being, stuff like that all matters, man. It's not just about music. It's not. I think, vibing out, man, and really meshing on a song or project is important to the music, man. The Shay Nora, that was, I was listening to like Thriller to Hunt too. Shout out to 38 Special, man, who produced that, man. He made amazing beats for that joint. But Shay was just somebody who stood out to me, especially coming from that upstate movement.
Look, I'm on a hunt trying to catch a connect. I'm the truth and y'all bitches more like Jussie Smollett. I'm addicted to hood niggas cause they sex me the best. I ain't heard a single rapper that could step to me yet.
That's just that upstate New York movement that's going on right now, man. She just stood out to me. There was something about her. They're all dope, man. There was something about her that just, she just had the imagery that I was looking for. So I hit her up on DM, was like, yo, man, I've been listening to your shit. And I'm like, yo, man, we need to work, man. Let's do something. And yeah, I wasn't necessarily talking about an album at first. It was just more like, yo, let's put something together, man, and make some songs or something. But it turned into an album, and it turned into a great album, man. Beautiful album.
And do people hit you up like, hey, it's been a while since you did like songs with Boog Brown, and we want to see another female MC with your production behind it?
I mean, people hit me up about that all the time. Different things, man. Not just that album, but other albums that I did before, man. A lot of people don't. If you look back at my catalog, you'll realize that I'm not big on sophomore albums. There's a lot of controversy that comes with making a sophomore, and then you start getting into the comparison factors, man, which I'm not really fond of. Your next album or your sophomore album will, according to the fans, never be as good as your first one. Yeah, it's dope, man. This is dope. I like this. It wasn't like the first one, though, man. The first one was, that's that whole shit, man. It's like, yeah, it wasn't like the first one because it's not like the first one, man. It's its own entity. Like, why can't albums and songs and why can't they're their own entity, man? Like, leave them as such. We don't have to compare this producer to that producer. We don't have to compare this MC to that MC. You know what I'm saying? They're different. One might be better to another group of people. The other one might be better to another group of people. Like, it's just all subjective when it comes to music, man, and beats. But like people hit me up about that stuff all the time, man. I'm just not really big on doing sophomores. I did sophomore, Ugly Heroes. We did a sophomore project, which actually might have turned out better than the first one. Both of them are amazing to me. But as far as a female rapper, obviously I have no problem working with female artists. They're MCs to me, just like all the other MCs, man, regardless of being female or not. It's just finding the dope MCs, man.
Yeah, and only a year and some change into her career, you're able to finagle a Black Thought feature on her debut. That's the power and reach of Apollo Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely, man. That was fun to do. That was really fun to do, man. And that she deserved that, man. That was good.
Now, you said, beats can be subjective. Have you become a better judge of your own beats? Meaning, when you first started out, I remember that beat for Danny Brown. He liked it, but for you, it was a throwaway, and it ended up being a very paramount song for him and Elzai. So fast forward.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about Contra, man. Yeah. I hated that joint, man. That was one of those joints, man. Me and Danny was sitting in my truck, man, and we were just kind of going through beats, and I was just skipping, like producers do.
Now I know what I'm gonna do. I said I know.
And I let that one play a little too long. I was trying to skip it, and it wouldn't work for some reason. And then I skipped, and he was like, wait, go back to that one. And I'm like, nah, man. He was like, nah, go back to that. He's like, I want that one right there. I'm like, what, man? Come on, bro. Out of all these beats, man, you want that one? It just wasn't my favorite joint to just wasn't my favorite joint at the time. But then, it came alive, bro. It turned into a dope joint, man. It turned into a Detroit staple. So I can't really fault him for that one, man. He turned it into something, man. And then, Elzai did his thing on there, and it definitely came alive, man. I'm happy about it.
So there can be some happy accidents every now and then.
Oh, all the time, bro. All the time, man. There's a lot of happy accidents, man.
All right, sir. So as we approach the finish line, as much as I know people hate this question, what's ahead for you? What projects can we look forward to? And as much as I hate to ask it, I'm maybe hoping for a podcast exclusive. Any Q1 2021?
I mean, I don't mind that question because I never answer it. So the question's easy for me, man. I'm old school, bro. Like, I'm one of those people who don't announce the announcement. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out nowadays that announce the announcement. It'll be like Monday and it'll be like, yo, I'm announcing that I got an announcement on Friday. Okay, that don't make no sense, man. But they do that all day. I'm all about a proper rollout, man, a proper campaign. A lot of people don't do it nowadays. A lot of people will finish an album on Sunday and put it out on Tuesday. But I mean, I got 3 albums in the works right now. One's being finished up, getting ready to go off to master. That should be coming out in February, I believe. And then the next album after that, we're working on right now. That'll be coming out in my favorite time of the year, fall of next year. That'll be coming out in probably September, October, one of those 2 months, my favorite months of the year to put music out. And then I got another one following that. So I like to stay a year or two ahead. I only put 2 albums out every 18 months, man. That's my schedule. So, and I say 2 every 18 because sometimes it doesn't fall 9 and 9. Sometimes I'll put an album out and then it'll take 14 months later for me to put another album out, or it might take me 6 months later to put an album. Usually I put out 2 albums every 18 months.
Here we go. I'm going to guess. Jay Electronica finally released music this year. So you and him.
Dude, that would be great, man. I would drop everything I'm doing, man, and do a Jay Elect album, man. That'd be dope.
I think he's finally in music mode, so I'd love to see that happen.
That'd be amazing, man. He's one of my favorite MCs, man, period. So, dude, I would drop anything. I'd have to tell my wife to miss me for about a month.
I'm sure, I'm looking forward to all those projects. What I like most about you is you're consistent and you're always working, and I don't know if people tell you that, but we appreciate the work ethic. So,
you know what? I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate that you said consistent, man, because I try to be as consistent as possible. And even if that means, you got fans out there to be like, oh man, he sounds the same, or all his beats sound the same. And it's like, all right, cool, man. They say that about great producers like DJ Premier and Ninth Wonder, and it's okay. That's fine to me, man. It can all sound the same, but consistent is one of my favorite words to live by, not only in music, just in life, period, man. And somebody, it was crazy, man. Somebody complimented me the other day. That was probably about a month ago, and they said, you know what, man? If I were to use one word to describe you, man, it would be reliable. And I've never heard that before, man. And that really kind of took me to another place, man. I was like, yo, to be called reliable is, to me, the utmost compliment. Like, that is, consistent is great. That's what I live by. But I've never heard anybody call me reliable until that time. And I was like, wow, that's an amazing compliment to me, to call me reliable. He said, we can always rely on you to put out great music, man.
I think that's kind of what I meant. Like, my favorite line from Ludacris is, every 9 months I drop big like Valletta. And I always liked that line, which But then he went off and did Fast and the Furious movies and went like 7 years without releasing an album. You know what I mean? So it's like you get that success, you get that taste of fame, and then the hunger kind of goes away. And you can post all the sports cars you want. You can guarantee every 9 months, every 18 months, 1 or 2 albums are going to come out, and we do appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. If you don't work, you don't eat, bro. And if you don't work, man, people forget about you. So you want to remain a household name. I want to keep it steady. I don't know. I just want to be significant, bro.
Don't we all, man? So I think we learned a lot about you in 45 minutes, and Apollo is a As a family man, I want to wish you and your wife, your kids, your lovely family, extended family, everyone in your circle, happy holidays. And you've allowed me to cross off a very important bucket list for this podcast. I'm a lifelong fan. I'm going to continue to be. And I thank you for your time.
Yo, I appreciate all that, man. And you know, you have you and your loved ones, man, have a great holiday and be safe, bro. Be safe.
Oh, we're masking up, man. We're not crazy.
Absolutely.